Awesome. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and kick this thing off. Again, my name is Kevin Canada, the VP of Sales here at EPSG. You are on the Poynt training. So just to kind of open us up a little bit, for one, this is a pretty fantastic product. Really excited to get this thing rolled out. Jeff Burke did our first training last week, so he set a pretty high bar for me to meet here. So hopefully I can make him proud over there. But nonetheless, this Poynt terminal was a product that's been around for a couple of years now. So we've been able to kind of watch and monitor and see what the market's really doing, how it's accepting it, things like that. And I'm really excited to have the full faith of the product team, us on the sales side, to put behind this product. So let's go ahead and dive in here. The way I really see this terminal, from my perspective, is that transition that everybody went through from the flip phone to the iPhone or the Android style setup. So if you think about it, before flip phone, stored your information, stored your contacts, did some very basic stuff, could send a text message through the old way of doing it through the numbers and things like that, but it got the job done, right? That's very similar to what a terminal does in my eyes. A terminal sits there, it transacts cards, but it's really not going to do much else outside of that. About 70%, 80% of a business's revenue goes through that one little piece of equipment. And so if you think about the transition over to the iPhone, suddenly people's lives started to be controlled by it. You could monitor everything. You could monitor your social media. You could plan your calendars. You could do email. You could do text messaging with a full keyboard, watch videos, all kinds of stuff that made that huge transition between old technology and new technology. And I think in my mind, the terminal world has been so late to adopt new technology that it's becoming finally a doorstop or a paperweight or whatever you want to look at. So what Poynt has done is taken what the relative need is for a terminal and turn it into more of a business need, a business solutions type of piece of equipment that still stays within that cost of a terminal realm, which is very rare. If you look at the way point of sale systems and all these high power units are doing right now, some of them are a little bit expensive, some of them are fairly reasonable, but nobody comes to the price point like Poynt does to solve that middle market gap for us. So been really excited. I think that once you guys get to learn this product a little bit more, you'll be utilizing this on the streets more than you will terminals. This will, in your mind, be the replacement for the terminals. Mark my words, I guarantee it. So let's go ahead and dive in here. So obviously they got their little tagline here, first terminal you'll love, the last terminal you need. And you'll see as we go through here, the way that they envision the future for this terminal is timelessness. You'll have the ability to keep this same terminal, but still continue as you do on iPhone with updates and things like that throughout the process. So I'm going to go ahead and dive in here. So first and foremost, meet Poynt. This is our smart terminal. As you can see, the size of it gives you a very similar feel as a terminal does. It's just a heck of a lot prettier. So that's the first fun part about this. It's a new kind of terminal that we'll do for merchants, what smartphones did for some. That's really funny. I actually didn't even read that part until the whole iPhone part of it came up. But anyway, new kind of terminal would do the same thing as what your smartphone did for the consumer world. This is going to do a lot more than just transact a credit card, as you'll kind of see as we get along going here. So the greatest countertop terminal. So as you can see, this thing is mobile, it's wireless, it's attractive, it's very form-fitting, takes any form of payment. So everybody talks about the new EMV craze, having to upgrade their terminals, things like that. What I'm seeing out there, there's still a lot of businesses that have not upgraded to EMV technology. And this is so important because of the liability shift that happened a couple of years ago, to be able to give them that peace of mind for fraud liability, a little bit of help in that liability shift to push it back on the banks as long as they're doing what they need to do correctly. Magnetic stripe, not everybody has upgraded their cards. Not every bank, not every credit union has switched their cards out for an EMV capable card. So you still have to be able to take magnetic stripes. A lot of gift cards are still magnetic, things like that. And then the new technology, the new guy on the street, which is NFC for all contactless payments. This is Apple Pay, this is Samsung Pay, all that good stuff. This thing will be able to accept it. So we're already extending the life of the terminal, and what that basic process is to just take a card. So we got that part covered. Next part is, most terminals aren't mobile right now. They have to sit on a desktop. They have to sit on the cash register, next to the cash register. They've got to be plugged in somehow to a power source. They've got to be plugged in through an Ethernet or a Cat5 cable. Some of them are coming along the Wi-Fi range, but those are, again, getting a little bit more expensive. So this thing is built for mobility. It's durable, ergonomic form factor. You hold it in your hands, really nice. Rechargeable battery for up to 8 hours. Obviously, some merchants are lasting a little bit longer than that, but this does provide up to 8 hours, which is a long time in a business. And it comes with a charging power dock. So big stuff there. Next thing is security. You know, we talk about fraud, liability, things like that. Guys, the way of the future is protecting your information. We have always said it's so many businesses out there. If you're on the streets, you look at their front of their business, they've got the roll down doors that come out and protect their doors. They've got cages on the doors. They've got locks on the back doors. They've got protection from cameras, all kinds of stuff to protect the items in the store. But nobody is sitting there looking at the security on the terminal. So that's what they're really focusing on here. It's PCI certified, dedicated secure processor, and 24/7 terminal security monitoring. So let's put the burglar bars on the terminal too and keep that part protected. Next thing is peripherals. As you can see there, all the hardware for the amazing app innovation comes with USB ports, so you can plug all kinds of stuff in there. Quad-core processor. I'm not a big tech guy, but it sounds pretty exciting. 16 gigabytes of storage. That's all the transactions. That's all your SKUs for your inventory, things like that. Has a front-facing camera and scanner, so your barcode scanner is built into this system here, guys. You can have it all with all of your inventory and be able to check people out right there from the same terminal. As a speaker, it's an app-based terminal here. Microphone, GPS, digital compass accelerometer, 3-axis gyro, and ambient light sensor. Some of that means nothing to us, but the reality is this is a great built terminal. It has a lot of features and functionality to help do a lot of items. If you look up here on the top section, it's got a big 7-inch merchant touchscreen. So this is the merchant-facing portion of this, where again, if you compare it to a terminal, you're looking at a tiny screen with just a few lines of words to help you navigate here. This is formulated just like an Android phone would be, how to navigate through it, things like that. And it's much easier to understand for those of you who use smartphones. Single simplified card slot. So one card slot serves both the merchant and the customer. It's easily accessible by both. And my favorite part of this is the customer display for the pen signature, tipping, receipts, and more. Guess what, guys? This helps you alleviate the need for that printer to have to print out a receipt every time. You can just sign on the screen. You can email out those receipts. You can do all your tip adjustments, things like that, directly facing the customer. That way it's not awkward. You don't have to turn around the terminal, have them put a tip in, or ask them how much their tip is, things like that. It's got it right there facing them where they can do it. And then again, connects through Wi-Fi or Ethernet. This could be for pay at the table service. This could be anybody who needs to walk around, mobile units, taco trucks, food stands, things like that. And then another cool feature of it, you don't have to have an outside extra printer that connects to this. It has a built-in printer for everything that you need right in there on one single system. So the smartest countertop terminal, if you notice, they're really pushing this intelligence portion of it. So the Poynt Smart Terminal enables modern transactions to happen. A beautiful device that lets merchants accept any form of payment anywhere they want. The Smart Terminal is secure and simple to use. It connects to other devices and powers a platform that turns transactions into useful data for merchants. With tons of great hardware features built in, it can also be a tool to do a whole lot more. So again, going back to terminal versus terminal, we've got the credit cards, we've got the ability to do that. Now we're going to talk about some of the added features that you get that a normal terminal wouldn't be able to do. This can serve as a basic register app. Just check in, check out, swipe a card. You can put up to 500 SKUs with modifiers in here. This is if I'm going to do a quick service restaurant and I need to put my menu on here and what items are in my menu. And then modifiers are I need extra pickles on there, or hold the mayonnaise, or whatever it is. So you have the ability to do that kind of stuff. Built-in barcode support. Go shopping, bring your item here. I'm going to scan it directly with the same terminal. No need to go to different devices, and it'll immediately register it within this terminal and be able to check them out. cash drawer and printer available. So now we're serving as a true point of sale here, where it can be connected up through different formats via with a cash drawer or an outside barcode scanner or an outside printer. So these would be added peripherals that they can do to set up a full system. The next thing is mobile headquarters for real-time data access. And we always talk about how data is the form of the future, guys. Data is worth more than gold right now. So being able to know what's happening in your business and react and make changes based on that data so that you're more successful down the line is extremely important. We're going to talk about a little bit about that more here in a second. And then merchant portal for easy setup. So you're going to go in there and get everything set up through a portal, and then it'll have it in the terminal here. So a couple good pictures here. Shows you what the screens look like, things like that. Very clean, very attractive, simple to use. Big numbers for those of you guys who have a little difficulty seeing. Makes it very easy to get everything in there. Next part is finally a complete business solution in a box, which is something we've been waiting for here. You know, Melanie and her team have done a wonderful job at really vetting out this product to be able to push out to you guys. And all along we've said, we want something very simple, very easy to use, but it's an all-in-one system that's still affordable, that can compete on a terminal level of sales and not have to go into that big expensive point of sale price points. So first and foremost, everything you need to run your business from a single provider. So we got security covered. We talked about that, protection from counterfeit fraud by accepting EMV chip card payments. Payment card data is fully encrypted for security during the payment process. You've got your software, intuitive software for easy customer use, built-in electronic cash register, very, very simple, important, expandable, easily expands to support peripheral hardware such as cash drawers, printers, cash registers, and more. It's attractive. You know, most people, whenever we go talk to them, there's two important things. One of them, what's the functionality? Two, what does it look like? And I think this really closes out that gap of that big ugly terminal sitting there that, again, only transacts credit cards. This is solving so much more for your business. And by the way, it looks pretty dang good sitting on the countertop. High tech, it looks very ergonomic when you're holding it all day, things like that. Things are important to a merchant that maybe we don't notice sometimes. Easy to use smart terminal, all-in-one design with receipt printer and a customer-facing display. Again, no more flipping around the terminal, things like that to try to get the customers to do their portion of it. Because again, as you know, EMV cards are now customer-driven, guys. So it has to be done by the customer. This gives them the ability to completely run the transaction from all-in-one system. And Ethernet and Wi-Fi we talked about before. Get up and walk around the business, carry it with you. It's got 8 hours of battery life to keep it going all day long. And one of my favorite parts back here, guys, is the powerful customer portal. This gives the Poynt HQ is for the customer-facing side, a simple and powerful dashboard that lets the customer manage their business. Excuse me, said that wrong. Is for Poynt customers. Simple and powerful dashboard that lets the customer manage their business, set up their catalog for their register, and see the transactions and settlements in real time. Real-time transactions. That is a data machine right there. Merchant using QuickBooks can export their sales data via Excel and import into QuickBooks. So send this off to their accountants. They can help keep track through QuickBooks, things like that. This first one is through their website, through their back office portal. You're going to be able to access it through a computer or what have you. So it gives you a lot of power. I mean, we always think about what are the huge benefits of having mobile access. For one, I always ask, the first question is, what's the most important thing to you as a business owner? And the number one response we always get is time, getting your time back. Being able to take vacation with your family and not have to worry about being there on site to know what your business is doing. You could be sitting on the beach with a pina colada in your hand and be able to look and see how many customers have come in, how many transactions, what my total take in for that day is, what's in my inventory, all kinds of stuff like that. It's all in this back office. Most importantly, if you look over here to the right, the Poynt HQ also has a business management tool that's mobile. So for monitoring and managing your sales and customers, working together with Poynt Smart Terminal, it turns data into insights that help merchants get an in-depth look at how their business is doing and how to make it even better. So we talk about growth. I am valuable to a merchant because I don't just save them money, I help bring them money to their business. I help them build revenue, build more customer bases. We have all kinds of products that help do that. This is one thing that puts all that data in front of them, helps them react in real time on what to do. I know it's a slow day, so guess what? I need to go to social media and put out a blast that brings more customers in. I can tell what my sales are doing through this from the very beginning and catch it early on as opposed to having to wait to the next day to see what my deposits are. So pretty cool stuff here. I'm really impressed with that the app that they created. Next thing is, let's talk a little bit about some of the peripherals that we have on here. As everybody knows, everybody is loving the fact that we can add in all of our own devices. A lot of this stuff, people need cash stores. They need to take in all that paper money. The old school cash registers connecting in. You've got your barcode scanners, external printers. Maybe some people want to have a kitchen printer that is sitting over in the kitchen. This thing can communicate with that. Additional stuff on here, obviously you've got a bunch of different options. So these are the ones that it is certified with. And we don't expect you to remember all this stuff. We will put this information in the back office for you to be able to access. Please note cash stores also require a USB trigger. So this is, again, connected in through a USB slot on the back of the terminal. Here's our printer options. These are all pretty standard. I mean, the Star printer is probably one of the most prevalent out there, Epson, so on and so forth. USB scanners, these are for your barcode scanners. You can kind of see this over here to the right. And then your additional cash registers, which is your SAMs, a big old school cash register. This is allowing them to utilize their existing technology if they have this one and update it to a new piece of technology as a retrofit. So pretty cool stuff here. It's very flexible. Gives you the ability to do whatever you need on there. How Poynt compares to other terminals and light point of sale systems. So this is huge, guys. I think whenever we look at how you're going to go out there and push this product, we want this to be very sales driven. You're going to be able to do some comparisons. First and foremost, let's look at a terminal here. I think the chart here can kind of speak for itself, but the bottom line is, as you can see, a terminal, yeah, it can take credit cards. It can do EMV, it can do NFC to a point. It has your basic security authentications, the minimum standards, things like that, and maybe some of them can do Wi-Fi, but not all of them. And as we know, that's becoming more and more requested because people are cutting cords, people are cutting wires, getting a clean setup on their desk, real estate on the desk in the cash area or the register area is becoming very, very important. They have computers, they have screens, they have cash drawers, they have all this stuff. The last thing they want is some big clunky piece of equipment sitting there that only transacts credit cards. So we've got the security part covered. Next is the software. You've got onboarding, menu items, cash drawer integration, back office, all that kind of stuff. Added that into that benefits. It's got additional hardware features. You can't do that on a terminal. You can't add a cash drawer. You can't do all that kind of stuff. It's got a built-in printer. Yeah, a terminal's got a built-in printer, but it doesn't have a barcode scanner, doesn't have a register, doesn't have remote management. You can't get into your business unless you're looking in through some sort of a QuickBooks system, but that's still a manual process to get that data in there. And then you've got an app store. Anybody who looks at a couple of the terminals we'll be talking about here in a second knows that it's very important to have additional tools out there. So you've got online ordering ability that this can bring as a secondary app within the Poynt terminal. You've got the integration, POS functionality, and employee management, time clock management, all that kind of stuff. We know that 20% of a business's revenue ends up going out the back door, either via their employees clocking in and clocking out incorrectly, or taking a sandwich off the shelf or what have you. This helps you keep control of inventory, keeps control of your time clock management. Everything is all done in there, and also, as we said before, it's got that Wi-Fi integration. So again, this blows the terminal out of the water. If I were you guys, I'd be out there pitching this product, and every single customer that I would have put a terminal in there, this is going to go in exchange for that. Let's kind of move on a little bit to some of the more high-tech opportunities. Square. I mean, gosh, everybody runs into Square right now, and everybody's always asking for a Square beater. What can I use to compete? What can I use to compete? Well, this is one of them. This is one of your options here. So Square Security, they've got payment methods They've got a little bit of the software on the back end, but the basics are it transacts a credit card. There's not much else that comes along with that. Some of the Square models can do touch screens. The Square POS has some of these additional stuff. But again, it's not running your back office for you. It's not controlling a lot of that inventory. And it's not doing the mobile app, things like that. You can access your business from afar. So the key selling features for Square is simple setup, low barrier to processing. It does what it does. Square was invented for the hot dog vendors, the T-shirt guys, things like that. This gives you the ability to run a full force point of sale style terminal in a business. Clover Mini, a big competitor out there, has a lot of the same features as you can see, but they're really lacking in the hardware features. It does not have in-store mobile, things like that. It's very locked down in what you can do. Their key selling feature, and I hear this from a lot of merchants, is they have the App Store, and it's the first out of backbone. People sometimes like working on the first out of backbone. No problem. We can set them up through EPSG on a better backbone. They've got a better App Store access, things like that. And next is Carbon. It's a pretty attractive terminal. One thing they do have going for them, they have not received their certifications for security yet. We don't know much about the software yet, haven't played around with it. So there's a lot of unknowns with there. It doesn't have the track record that Poynt has over the last couple of years of extreme success and durability. And their key selling features is their distribution channel, things like that. Doesn't help us very much on our end. So this is a way to kind of compare to what's out there in the market. Again, we'll have this information at your fingertips where you can pull this out at a moment's notice and show the merchants and things like that. But some pretty interesting stuff there to keep in mind as you are out there selling the streets. Who's our target market? Let's kind of talk a little bit about this. Poynt will go where your customers want to pay. So that's first and foremost. Again, it's customer driven. EMV payments are customer driven, so it has to be done. These pay at the table has created a big barrier for people wanting to switch out of their existing systems. They're starting to create pay tables. Dining places are making you go up on your way out and pay on your way out as opposed to pay at the table like it used to be where they take your card. Well, now they can still create that relationship with the customer. They can walk up to the customer. The card never has to leave their vision. And again, in a retail environment, it helps you cut down your line. It's very quick, very streamlined. Remote data management. Sidewalk sales, you can walk outside, set up a tent, set up some advertising and have people come in there and do transactions as they walk by. And again, serve as a basic register. Next thing is coffee shops, customer-facing tipping. Again, that's sometimes an awkward thing for some people. It becomes a little bit of an uncomfortable question to ask them. How much do you want to tip? Things like that, especially if you're tipping the person sitting across from you. So this gives it a little bit more discreet, makes it a little bit more of an easier thing to swallow whenever you're tipping over there. Remote data management and basic register again. Pop-up shops take payments anywhere. All-in-one make setup simple and quick, and pay at the table. Think about your trade show people that do Christmas trade shows, things like that. Some of these big conventions, all kinds of stuff where there's a lot of people spending a lot of money. Nowadays, they're not taking cash anymore. It's all cards, and they usually have Wi-Fi set up in there for you to connect directly into, and it's very simple that way. Flea markets, things like that are a great target for these guys. Next is our EPSG support for this. So marketing. So we released a statement, a message for all of your customers, all of our customers on the entire portfolio, and let them know that this was coming. Here's the cool part about this, guys. A lot of you may be saying, well, I don't want them marketing directly to customers because then they're going to call you and then you're going to sell them the terminal. That's not how we operate. Your customers belong to you as they're processing with EPSG. So whenever we do these marketing push outs to your customers, they're going to get that statement message. They're going to see it. If they call into us, we're going to look up the merchant and we're going to pass that along to you to complete that sales process. We will never get involved in the sale and undercut you. So that's the great news. Every single one of them will go to you. So that's awesome. So EPSG is now offering Poynt. This is what the statement message is. A new and exciting smart terminal. Poynt is a beautiful mobile device that will let you accept any form of payment. The smart terminal is secure and simple to use. that can connect to other devices and powers the platform that turns transactions into useful data. Again, data is so important. With tons of great hardware features built in a back office online portal, you have everything you need to run your business from anywhere. So as you can see down here, for more information, please contact your local sales agent or call this number or email product, and then the product team will do their diligence to make sure that you get that information on which customer is looking for that so that we can get them signed up and get this technology in front of them as soon as possible. So we're helping you market this out to your existing customer base. One thing that we really like to harp on, and I think doesn't get mentioned enough, is we spend a lot of time acquiring our customers. We spend a lot of time out there knocking on doors, pounding the pavement, hitting the streets, training people, and trying to convince them to go with you versus the other 500 out there. That's why we're so good. But a lot of what's missing on our portfolios is that going back to add additional revenue to our existing portfolio. That's where margin comes into play. When you got all that work that you did over the last several years, months, whatever it is, however long you've been here, some of you on here are veterans, you've got a huge portfolio. We're going to help you get in front of that portfolio, just like you should be doing with every other product. We're going to help push this for you and see if we can't gain some more revenue on your side and upsell these terminals to get your customers up to date and with some new technology. So pretty cool thing there. Next thing is you will be able to find your product kit on our library. So if you go to your back office, you can go to Epic, or you can go with this exact address. I'll leave this up here for a minute if anybody wants to write this down. You can go to your product kit. On there, you'll have sell sheets, sales partner and merchant sheets that are merchant facing or facing you. Pricing calculator, which Miss Melanie is going to jump in here in just a minute and kind of show us a little bit about how that works. Your frequently asked questions. This is from experience of the last couple of years, Poynt's been able to put together a lot of the frequently asked questions for you. Your quick reference guide, something very fast you can kind of go through the basic features of. The merchant setup guide, what they need to do to go through the process. The Poynt addendum, which you're going to need with every single service agreement. Whenever you submit these in, you're going to need that addendum just like you would at any other product. And a list of supported peripherals that we went through earlier. It kind of showed all those different pictures. That's all going to be in there where you need it. And then our web presence, if you want to send a merchant to something that gets a little bit more information, don't send them to the Poynt website, because then they're just going to click through there and you may end up losing the customer. I want you to send them to goepsg.com/Poynt. Remember, it's P-O-Y-N-T, not P-O-I-N-T. Clever little name for it, but make sure you go to that or send them to that for more information. I'll leave that up for a second. As you can see over here, we've got a couple of different of the materials, what it looks like. This looks to be the merchant-facing portion of it. And yeah, this looks like it's going to sit in front of the merchant. Kind of talks about the benefits, things like that. Help you sell. If you notice here, we're going to get into this in a few minutes, but you got your buy rate as a little sneak preview for everybody at $450 a device, and we'll go through the cost of this here in a few minutes and talk to you how to break that down. So the next part is, before I turn over to Melanie, is your sell, lease, place bundle. So just like every other thing that we have in here, guys, we give you plenty of options to be able to get this on your merchant's hands. We don't want to hamstring you with just one option. Now, I think, in my opinion, selling is probably the most economical way to go about doing it, but we do also leasing, and we can also place it just like we would another terminal. The cost is a little bit different on that. We'll go through that in a second. Your buy rates, $450 is your buy rate. That includes the encryption fee on that side, plus $8 a month, which gives you access to the Poynt headquarters. Guys, at $450, only $200 more expensive than a normal, basic, run-of-the-mill terminal on a one-time fee. So if you think about it, going back to that flip phone to the iPhone upgrade that everyone did, flip phone was maybe $100, $150, okay? By the time we went to an iPhone, it was $600, right? So a massive jump to give you that piece of technology, but everyone paid it because it's just what they did. They were getting to this, keeping up with the Joneses, getting the new technology in there, helping you run your day, helping you manage your life, helping you stay connected with everybody. This is going to do the same thing for their business, except it's $200 more. We're not talking about a massive jump here. And through some of our options that we have on here, our sell, lease, place bundle, they give you some flexibility on how to go about paying that. Also, keep in mind, we do have the ability to spread those payments out over a couple of months where it's not such a big hit on the merchant at one time. You can use your merchant order form and get that done as well. And then at $8 a month, guys, it's not even, my people are charging statement fees at $15 out there right now. So $8 a month is negligible when it comes to how much this thing can actually do. You got to think of what the investment versus the return is going to be on this. If I can help manage my business from afar, I can help see my transactions, see my time clock management, do my inventory with up to 500 SKUs, pay at the table that I didn't have before for a customer experience. I can take it mobily, connect into any Wi-Fi signal, and set up at a flea market or a trade show. Now I don't need a mobile terminal, so I don't need two terminals. I'm not swiping it on my phone, which, as everybody knows, that can only do one thing, which is serve you as a transaction reader. This can do so much more, but still give you that mobile capability for $450 a month. So very simple, easy way to sell that. Leasing, you're going to need a B credit or better. Obviously, this one's a little bit more expensive than a basic terminal, so we're looking for that. If you cannot get a leasing done for whatever reason, they get declined. Whatever the reason is, you can move on to the placement option, which is a little bit more expensive, but they're not stuck in a long-term lease. They can get rid of it, send it back to us at any point in time. It works just like your terminal placement program. We're going to send them out. They're going to sign an addendum. We're going to get them in the terminal out there. It's going to be ready to go. So without further ado, guys, I'm going to turn this over to Miss Melanie, and she is going to go ahead and take you through the calculator, things like that, and then I'll take it back. Melanie, let me know whenever you get that. All right, she's quick.
All right, thanks, Kevin. In just a few seconds here, I'll be able to run through this entire calculator with you guys to show you all the different options you have and how user-friendly this calculator is. As Kevin mentioned before, this piece of hardware is a little bit more expensive than your standard terminal, so we wanted to make sure we gave you guys as many options as possible so that that customer doesn't walk away from the sale. So this calculator, all the sections that you see in yellow are the sections that you can play around with until you feel like you have a good rate to provide to your customer. There's obviously 4 different selections up top here. You can either sell, you can lease, you can use the placement program, or you can bundle. All of these should be you should be fairly familiar with, except for the bundled option. I just wanted to go over that. If you haven't learned about this already, what we've enabled our sales partners to do is to bundle the cost of the hardware into the merchant's credit card processing rates and fees. So either into the basis points or into the transaction fee. So that's what the bundled program is. So they would have their normal rates and fees for credit card, and then you can add in a few more basis points or a few more cents on the transaction, and then you can bundle the expense into their credit card processing rates and fees, so they don't have to come up with that cash up front. All right, so let's get started. Sell is fairly simple. Obviously, you have your buy rate right here. You can enter the amount that you'd like to sell it for, and the calculator will show you what your commission is. And obviously, on equipment, you guys are getting 100% above your buy rate, so you can very easily see, which you could probably do this in your head as well, but you can see how much commission you'd make off of selling the piece of equipment. Okay, and as Kevin mentioned before, this is obviously the most cost-effective option for the merchant if they have the cash up front. Let's say they don't, and you'd like to present to them our leasing program. For the leasing program, all you need to do is go into the lease window here and select the monthly payment that you think the customer will be comfortable with. So let's say you have a very price-sensitive merchant, right? So you're looking for that lowest monthly rate possible. can click 30. Again, here it's B or better. A is better than B, and P is premium credit. So you'll see if they do qualify for B, A, or P, it will affect your commission. Let's say they have premium credit. You'll see how your commission goes up if they do qualify that way. But let's just say that they have a B, and you do the $30 monthly payments over 36 months. Here's your choices, 24, 36, or 48. Let's say the 36, and there's your commission. Let's say you want to push the envelope a little bit, and you want to go up to $37.50, and let's say they have better credit, and you want to do it over 48 months. Check out the commission that you would make on that one sale, and you get that up front. Maybe one more scenario we'll walk through here, $35. Let's say again, most of them are going to qualify as B. Let's say maybe 24 months. Obviously, your commission will go down on that option because the months it's a shorter term. And then always remember with the leasing program, at the end of the term, they do have a buyback option as well. The placement program. Placement, this again is, as Kevin mentioned, is a little bit more expensive. However, if the merchant doesn't have the cash up front and they'd like to do a monthly program, we would suggest this option. All you need to do is go in here and select placement. You'll see what your buy rate is. That's the lowest you can go. That's your floor. Let's say you mark it up to $60. You'll get a $45 commission on that. If you mark it up, let's say a little bit more to $65, your commission will be a little bit higher. The last option is the bundled option. Again, bundling is a way that you can have the merchant bundle the expense of the hardware. So they're still going to be billed that monthly software fee, but they won't have to come up with the cash up front to pay for the hardware. If you do select the bundled option, all you need to do is input the sales volume and the number of annual transactions. So let's say that the annual sales volume is $450,000, nice size merchant, and they do 1,200 transactions, 12,000 transactions, right? And let's say you want to bundle it into the basis points. Here you have your buy rate starts at 10. If you go up to 16, your commission is $270. If you want to just maybe bundle a couple of extra, your commission would still be $90 on that, so that's not bad. If you would rather bundle into the transaction fee, your buy rate is 4 cents. Let's say you mark it up to 5, and you'd make $120. So you can really very quickly, within 5 minutes, come up with several different options to present to your merchant so that you make them comfortable with not only buying from you, but the investment that they're going to be making in this equipment and their cash flow. So we feel that this is a great tool to use out in the field. And if you do have any questions on it, you can definitely contact product. And we'd be happy to walk through any questions that you have. So I'm going to turn it back over to you, Kevin.
You got it. Thank you, Melanie. Really appreciate that.
That's good.
All right. All right. So to kind of pull this back in a little bit, thank you, Melanie. Really appreciate going through that. Obviously, whenever we look at that calculator, that will be available to you through that same link that we went over earlier. Bottom line is, guys, there's a lot of easy ways to do this. Melanie and her team set out on this product with a clear goal in mind, which is, one, make it very simple for you guys to sell it, but two, make it an attractive product that the merchants actually want. I think we accomplished both of those in this. We got a lot of requests to get this thing rolled out, and we're here, so it's exciting. So here's the Poynt peripherals. We can actually help facilitate the purchase of the cash drawer, plus the required trigger for the Bluetooth and the printer. The merchant will have to purchase any other peripheral through Amazon, whatever. So, a couple of tips here. For one, shop around. Obviously, we can help you do that. It doesn't hugely benefit us as a company to sell this stuff. We wanted to create that as a convenience opportunity for the merchant to get it through us. What I would suggest is give them that list of the ones that are compatible, the ones that are eligible. Go shop around a little bit, find out what the best option is. Amazon may be the best bet to purchase some of this stuff if they need it. But again, we can help navigate those waters at least on the cash drawer and the required and the printer for the Bluetooth stuff. So simple things here. Next one is all certified peripherals will be listed on the documents located in your product kit, which is also on that link that we spoke about. And then we will go into, these are the trainings that we have still coming up. Obviously, we are on our April 10th. Our April 18th is coming up later on this week. Actually, no, next week. Excuse me. And then we'll do another one April 20th. I would recommend jumping on these a couple of times to kind of get to know a little bit of the lingo and the product stuff. Again, go to the product kit, ask your managers, contact our ISO support. We can always help jump in there. But the bottom line is training is everything. Knowledge is the most important part in this, product knowledge, things like that. It helps you build confidence when you're out there talking to your merchants. And I promise you, you will sell a heck of a lot more than these if you were the consummate professional and the expert in the product. And if you're passionate about it and you're excited about the product, I guarantee you, you'll sell a heck of a lot more of them because they're going to recognize that. And I think that goes a long way. Couple of things that are good to know, just a couple little tips. The mobile is Wi-Fi only. This is not a cellular based system, okay? There's no 3G or 4G. But as everybody knows, most places you go nowadays, with the exception of being completely away from buildings or anything, infrastructure, there's a Wi-Fi signal usually wherever you need to. I'm not telling you, Melanie, do you know if we can hook this up through a mobile hotspot? If I have like a Verizon hotspot, will that create a Wi-Fi signal for it?
No. Well, you can connect to the 3G or 4G via your hotspot, but if your hotspot has Wi-Fi, then it'll connect to the Wi-Fi as long as it's a private Wi-Fi connection.
There you go. All right, another cool solution for you there. So if you don't have it, you can connect in through your own private network. So gift card not supported now. This is something that's not very surprising to me. There's a lot of gift cards out there. There's a lot of brands, things like that. There's Value Tech. We have our own. It's usually not something that every terminal is going to support every gift card system. So this is not something we anticipated. This is something expected. Don't make a hurdle out of it. Make a solution. Let them keep their other terminal underneath the counter while this one you walk around with and service your customers or what have you. So there's always a solution for everything. Next thing is cloud-based storage. Everything is going to the cloud nowadays. Everything we do. If you notice, all of our new products, NCR, things like that, are all cloud-based. This is providing a couple of different things. One of them is the security. It's securing it off-site. It's not storing the information at your location where it's very vulnerable to attacks and things like that. Second, if the hardware gets damaged, if it breaks, if it spills water on it, whatever happens to it, as we know, working in a lot of these high intensity, high impact restaurants and things like that, there is a big possibility that hardware gets damaged. That happens, it's not going anywhere, it's stored off site, you can still access it through your back office. You're not losing all of your data at that point. 3 or 4, I think this is probably the most important for me. I'm thinking about longevity in my portfolio every single day that I wake up, right? How can I make sure that the merchants don't leave for somebody like me that walks in the door and offers them a good deal or a cute product or what have you? Once they get into this, no other processor can walk in and download into it. So they make the investment, they decide to go with you, you're with EPSG. They're going to stay with it as long as they want to use that Poynt terminal, which I can guarantee you once they get into it, they're not going to want to leave it for another basic terminal and go backwards. Next thing is, it is a different paper size, is 2¼ by 16 feet. The reason why we say this is because we really want to try to push everybody to using the e-signature portion of it. You know, if you think about it, it's solving a few things. For one, we're always trying to save money on overhead. So why have to deal with going to Staples all the time and buying those big expensive cases of paper? Whenever everybody's going paperless, it's good for the environment. We're always pushing the green initiative here to try to save not only money, but save on that paper as well. So save a tree, push them to the e-signature portion of it. The customer can sign right where they're looking at, right there, and have it emailed or texted out directly to them at that single point in time. I lose receipts every single day. I end up having to give them to my wife because I know they're going to get thrown in the trash or end up in the bottom of my truck or what have you. So help solve a couple of problems at once. Do the e-signature panel on it. Next thing is QuickBooks. It does not directly integrate through QuickBooks, but you can export through Excel and then via Excel use that to upload data into some of these other accounting softwares and systems and things like that. Most merchants are already probably doing that right now because they're using a terminal. So this will be probably a huge win on their side, going from having to manually take the batch reports and things like that and go through statements to just be able to export the data whenever they want to. And again, it's live, real-time transactions, so you can get that data immediately as quick as you need to. Next thing is fleet card not supported. I don't see this being a big solution for gas stations and things like that anyway. At the end of the day, it's not going to be pay at the pump, so Red Express, Voyager, all that stuff's not going to really apply. This is more your retail restaurant, QSR, trade shows, things like that. So just think about your target market whenever you're looking for this. Don't try to use it for a solution for everything out there. Sales partner demo hardware and software is available through purchase. I had a question earlier today if somebody could purchase. The answer is absolutely. We would love to get one out to you. You just got to buy it, and it's $450 is your cost, and you won't be paying that $8 a month because you're going to be, it's not going to be at a live merchant. So the demo is available through our tech support team. Love for you guys to get some out there. It's a good investment into one where you're about to see some contests we come up with. So if I were you guys, I'd be chunking a little bit of an investment over to us to try to get one of these terminals so you can get out there and start selling them. Next thing, contract merchant. New merchants must complete the merchant app, which is an obvious one, and list Poynt under the other category when you're looking at that terminal setup page. Poynt addendum for software fees, that's going to be in your back office. The more form for the hardware, again, you have the ability to be flexible. We can charge you for it. You can take the hit. We can ACH the merchant. We can split it up a little bit for them, make it more palatable for them to make these payments. Submit to application just like you normally would. No difference on that stuff. We actually do all of the rest of the legwork from there. Existing merchants complete the Poynt addendum, basics, more, got that, and submit it to tech support. There's no new application needed for existing merchants. We're just going to change it over to a new terminal ID, get it loaded in, do the encryption, and we'll fire that thing out to your customer and get it out quickly. So very quick turnaround. So if you think about this versus a point of sale system, this is going to cut down on your turnaround time. I know NCR is at around 2 to 3 weeks right now. You've got something you want to get a merchant up and running with just the basics. They don't need all those additional features and functions. Fire them up on an EPSG Poynt system and get them set up here pretty quickly. The preferred platform is Evo via Snap. That doesn't mean much to you guys. Bottom line is there's no additional transaction fees. It doesn't cost any more like a lot of these other systems do. Has EMV chip and PIN supported. So chip and PIN there, guys. Very good stuff. Next one is what's in the box. This is what the merchants are actually going to experience here. They're going to get all included in the shipment that they get is going to be the actual Poynt device, the docking station, a plug adapter. Again, it's still mobile, but it starts to charge overnight, things like that. A quick start pamphlet. Most people these days, if they know how to work a smartphone, is going to walk right into this thing and figure it out within the first 30 minutes. So not a whole lot of training that needs to be done, but we got a quick start pamphlet and 3 additional rolls of paper just to kind of get them going, things like that. The terminal will have guides and videos available on the home screen. So right there within the system, they're going to be able to access all the trainings that they need to be able to get up and running. let's see, if additional support is needed, the Connect app will connect the merchant directly to level 1 tech support. So as you guys know, we rolled out a new tech support system, and it's controlled by us. It's one of our first rollouts that we did to kind of change what the face of EPSG looks like in our support system. You can download an app called Connect on your smartphone right now, but the merchants can download it on this terminal just like they would in an app and be able to communicate via text, email, phone calls, things like that directly with our level 1 tech support for this terminal. They will help you get this set up. They will guide you through the process. They'll help them with any sort of troubleshooting, things like that. So that's a phenomenal addition to our little support for the merchant, and I think they're going to like that a lot. If you guys haven't checked that out yet, I'm sure we'll do another training coming up soon on how to access that, but the Connect app, you guys can download it, kind of play around with it right now and check it out. And that's not just for Poynt, that's for our Deja Vu merchants and things like that as well right now. Next one is merchant experience. When the merchant connects to the internet for the first time, the terminal will activate itself. So enhanced training options will be available for a fee, and varies depending on the length of the call. Now, I don't anticipate this being needed, but we wanted to put this out there on a just in case type of basis where, again, these merchants are going to be able to roll right into this product. As long as you can work a computer, a laptop, a smartphone, the basics, they're going to be able to figure this out. I can guarantee it. Now, those quick videos and the help guides and things like that can get them through the more advanced basic stuff, but if it goes anything further than that, $50 for every 30 minutes, it's $150 for an hour for that extended service if they need it. Again, I don't anticipate this happening. We don't see this very often, but we want to put it just in case. It does cover the warranty, 12 months included, and the terms and conditions are available in the product kit. So that's pretty solid. You know, within a year, as long as nothing crazy happens, we'll make sure that warranty applies to that. Extended warranty is available for $50. Might as well get that. It covers for an additional 12 months. I would roll that in there and get it just in case for anybody, especially some of your restaurants and things like that. I'm not sure what you mean by import, but it can export all of that data into an Excel spreadsheet. It absolutely can. But as far as importing, I don't know what data you would really want to import into the terminal.
Talking about inventory.
Yeah, I guess so. What about Melanie? I'm not really sure. That's a question for you.
Yeah, no, you can absolutely do that. I'm looking for the template. You know, it has to be in a certain format, but absolutely you can do that.
Okay, awesome. So the answer is yes. We love the yes answers. What is the warranty on the terminal? 12 months. We already got that one. What happens? I know that Melanie's also been answering some of these, but I wanted to make sure that they were good for the crew here. What happens if a merchant has a 48-month lease and they go out of business? What happens to the merchant? Let's see, Melanie, did you answer that? I'm having trouble seeing these.
Yes, I did answer that. I have to research the clawback terms, but I believe they only have to make a few payments and then your commission is safe. So I'm going to research the clawback terms, but I know that you know, after a certain amount of months, and it's not very many, your commission will not be clawed back should they go out of business.
Okay. Yeah, we'll definitely look into that, but I don't anticipate any issues. All right, let's see. Mahalo. Hey, Jose, how you doing, buddy? How does the merchant load their inventory in the menu? So, Melanie, through the back office or on the device. There's a guide available in the product kit as well as on the device itself. So that's how they're going to get their inventory loaded in. Again, there's a lot of guides and a lot of how-to videos and things like that. Can you have more than just one? Do they talk to each other, and where is the inventory stored? They can have more than just one. Obviously, we'd love to sell as many as we can. Do they talk to each other? I'm not sure if they link up through that back office or not. Do they, Melanie?
Yes, you can have multiple devices that connect via the headquarter, and you can see all the terminal IDs individually.
Beautiful. All right. Import inventory, yes. Exports. It does not export directly to QuickBooks. Again, it exports via an Excel sheet, which you can then take and export into your QuickBooks. Next one, if they're still in contract with us, how will we exchange? All right, if they're still in contract with us, how would we exchange one machine for the other? So if I have a person paying for a Deja Vu on a 3-payment option, how do we switch them to the new device? If they purchased the 3-payment option Deja Vu, they're going to need to pay that out. Now, if they're in a placement and they're paying the $12.95 a month or whatever it is you charge them for a regular terminal, they can send that back and we can then switch them to a Poynt based on whatever program you want to put them on. Christian, I'd be glad to look at where we're at on that terminal with you and see what kind of options. I'll look and see how much further we have left to go. No big deal there. Can we buy it ourselves for a demo with the 3 months payment? Yeah, absolutely. We'd love to extend that out to you. Anything that we extend to a merchant, we'd be glad to do for you, especially you, buddy. So absolutely, we can get that out. 3 months payment, $450. I'm not going to count those towards the contest, just so you guys understand. For full disclosure, there needs to be a merchant attached to the deal for it to be contest eligible. Let's see, next one. So a small restaurant can have 4 terminals that can close the day. That is correct. It will all be controlled through the headquarters, and everything will link up through the back office there. So that's all the questions that I have on my side. Melanie, do you have anything else to add for us?
Nope, that looks like all the questions.
Wonderful. Well, again, I want to thank Melanie Gonzalez, our VP of product, and her team. They've done a wonderful job at rolling this out, put a beautiful slideshow together. We hope to impress them by getting a lot of these out there. I know you guys can sell the heck out of these things. So please, if you have any more questions, obviously reach out. You see the link there, product at Evo Platinum Services. And to get your product kit just one more time, we love working with you guys. We love new products, things like that. We're going to have a few more coming out over the next couple of months that we're really excited to push. But let's get these things out in the streets, and we look forward to seeing you guys on the next call. Thank you so much, Melanie. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.